Yo, what's up guys? It's been a while since my last video, and honestly I miss posting and talking Destiny builds with everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, at least better than me than when I'm fighting my least favorite enemy in Destiny 2, ogres. In the gameplay on the screen, I am in a solo onslaught against an entire wave of ogres. There are at least 8 of them and an unstoppable. With the Warlock build I am using, I am able to destroy all of them by jolting them, blinding them, chaining lightning to them, and using bolt charge while regenerating my abilities instantly with ionic traces. If you are like me and absolutely despise ogres, you'll want to bookmark this build that starts out with the Warlock subclass and the super ability Storm Trance. Storm Trance chains arc lightning together from our hands to electrify targets with devastating streams of Arclight that deal damage over time, casting Storm Trance will jolt nearby targets. For the abilities on this build, I opted into using Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Chain Lightning, and Pulse Grenade. Healing Rift will provide us with a well of power that will continuously heal us while we stand in it. Chain Lightning will send out an extended range melee that will jolt targets and chain to other nearby targets, jolting them as well. While amplified, it will create an additional set of chains. And our Pulse Grenade will provide us with good ad clear, orbs of power, and jolt any targets that they hit. So we'll be jolting a ton of targets in this build. Now let's talk about our aspects. This build uses the Arc aspects, Electrostatic Mind, and Ionic Sentry. Electrostatic Mind is going to generate an Ionic Trace anytime we kill a target with an Arc ability, or kill a target that is jolted or blinded. Most of the targets that we kill will be jolted using our Arc abilities, or just flat out killed by our Arc abilities, so we will have an enormous amount of Ionic Trace. If you guys are unfamiliar with Ionic Traces, these guys generate a ton of ability energy when collected. So our abilities are going to constantly be off cooldown. Moving on to Ionic Sentry, this aspect is absolutely amazing. Ionic Sentry charges up an arc turret anytime we get kills with a kinetic or arc weapon along with our arc abilities. Once it's charged, we can activate our grenade ability to throw out a turret that chains lightning between targets, stacks bolt charge, and blinds enemies on impact. The fragments in this build that are being used are the Spark of Shock, so that our arc grenades jolt targets and create even more ionic traces. The Spark of Ions, anytime we kill a jolted target or kill a target with bolt charge, we generate an ionic trace. The Spark of Discharge, so that anytime we get an arc weapon final blow, we have a chance to generate even more ionic traces, and collecting ionic traces gives a stack of bolt charge, which will help us nuke any enemy we see with a lightning bolt. And the last but not least, the Spark of Frequency, so melee hits will increase our weapon reload speed and stability while we are amplified. All effects are increased and we gain increased stacks of bolt charge from every single source. And people think Thor is the god of thunder? Nah, Guardians, it's the Arc Warlock. For weapon recommendations, this is old news at this point, but using the Delicate Tomb to create even more ionic traces is absolutely insane. And then, of course, the Thunderlord is also great. You can even use the Watchful Eye with Rolling Storm and Eddy Current in your heavy slot to generate even more bolt charge. If you were to take this build into in-game content, you would want to align your weapons more with the champions that you will be dealing with, but keep in mind you will be an absolute glass cannon. To really top this build off, I chose to use the exotic armor piece Crown of Tempest. The Crown of Tempest has an exotic armor perk called Conduction Times. Conduction Times increases the recharge rate of your abilities and extends your duration of Storm Trance with any arc ability or jolt final blow. This can stack up to 3 times, granting up to 502% ability regeneration, and decrease the passive super drain up to 66%. This doesn't apply to Chaos Reach, but it's still really good for Storm Trance. Crown of Tempest paired with an insane amount of ionic traces we'll be generating will quite literally allow us to use Empowered Melee, Grenade, and our class ability every 2 to 4 seconds when fighting mobs, making this build an absolute ad-clearing monster. I did take this build solo into Onslaught and destroy some waves, but it really shines when you are playing with a fire team that can help you clear objectives and traverse the map. For the stat rolls on this build, you want 100 resilience and 100 discipline. You can get your strength and recovery up as high as possible as well, that really helps. For the armor mods on the helmet, I opted into using Harmonic Siphon to generate orbs of power and double Ashes to asset so that anytime we get a grenade kill, we get super energy. For the Gauntlet armor mods, I opted into using double firepower, but heavy-handed can easily be thrown into this slot as well. On the chest piece, I made sure to run whatever resistance mods Fitz the encounter. This is pretty important because the Arc subclass has a lot of damage, but it lacks survivability. On the leg armor pieces, Better Already and Recuperation were very helpful to regenerate health while throwing in Absolution for reduced ability cooldown anytime we picked up an Orb of Power. To finish off the build, let's talk about the seasonal artifact mods. For our seasonal artifact mods, you want to run everything Arc related so that you get the most out of Arc 3.0. The 100% must-haves for this build are Overclock and Load, Dielectric, Flashover, Hold the Wine, Heavy Ordnance Regeneration, and Defibrillating Blast. Thank you for watching this long. If you guys like this build, please like, subscribe, and share, or click the video on the middle of your screen to see more like it. Hope you all have a good one, and as always, peace!